to Minding Your Business, the show for really special, talented, and incredible entrepreneurs. I'm your host, June Middleton. All of the wonderful guests we have on the show that appear on the show are entrepreneurs, and they are in business in one form or another, and we have discussed those forms such as the sole proprietorship, a partnership, corporation, and what we're going to talk about tonight some, the LLC, or the Limited Liability Company. And we have as our special guest this evening an LLC. So we're talking about it, and then we'll actually see one in the flesh, in reality. And it's called Pierre Spicy, or Pierre's Spicy, and they are really spicy and delicious. I'm smelling some wonderful cookies sitting here, driving me crazy, but we'll get to that. And Pierre is the founder of his spicy business, and he's also brought with him his very talented marketing director, Berman, and we will have a chance to talk to her as well. But let's just take a look quickly at the limited liability company known as the LLC. It's one of my favorite forms of business because it's a combination of the sole proprietorship, the partnership, and the corporation. And the really great part about it is, though, unlike the sole proprietorship and the partnership, it gives you limited liability protection. It can have just one owner, like the sole proprietorship, or it can have two or more owners, like a partnership. And again, neither of those have any liability protection. The LLC gives that to you. And it also has pass-through taxation, which means the LLC does not pay taxes. Any profits, hopefully, that the LLC has, pass directly through to what are called members. And that's how it works for the partnership. So you can see the LLC offers a great deal of flexibility, which is wonderful. And it's easy to run and operate, a lot easier than the corporation. So like a partnership, though, the profits and losses are shared according to the operating agreement or the amount of investment each member has made. And like a corporation that has elected to be an S corporation, there is that pass-through taxation. Again, the LLC itself does not have to pay taxes. This means that the profits, and hopefully no losses, are distributed directly to the members. So again, the LLC, the biggest advantage is flexibility and limited liability exposure. A corporation has shareholders who are the owners. They hold stock in the corporation, and as you probably know, you can buy as many shares of stock. Or for a small corporation, they will decide how much stock they're going to each buy if there's more than one shareholder. But the regular corporation, the C corporation, pays taxes. And if it distributes any profits to the shareholders also have to pay taxes. They're usually in the form of dividends that the shareholders receive. They are taxed for those dividends. This is called double taxation, which has made a lot of people very unhappy who have formed corporations. But in LLC, the members, the owners, have what are called members, and the members have an interest in the LLC. The LLC does not pay taxes, as I said before. Any profits that are had, hopefully that there are profits, are distributed directly to the members. The LLC is formed by filing articles of organization with the Department of State. The LLC is a little bit more expensive to form than the corporation, but at the same time, after that initial investment, we'll say, it gets a lot easier. and it is much easier to manage than the corporation. The single most important part, though, of having an LLC, and after the formation has been completed, and if there are two or more members, is having an operating agreement. It cuts down on a lot of headache and angst among the members. And it also is required by the state. Even though it's an internal agreement, it is something that just really must be done as soon after the LLC is formed. We're going to talk more about the LLC on a future show, and we'll get into more of the ins and outs and the details of that really important operating agreement. But our very special, talented, and diverse guest for this evening has a really interesting business and is, I believe, formed as an LLC in 2012. And this business grew out of his childhood in Haiti. Bold, spicy, sexy, and savory is very much a part of the cuisine in Haiti. And when he came here to this country, I think he kind of missed at least those very spicy and savory and hot spices. And he was originally involved in sports as a runner, as a massage therapist for runners, but the spicy and savory foods that he grew up with, I think, had that calling to him that drew him into the kitchen so that he could start creating a part of home here in this country. Pierre, we are looking at some of your wonderful, wonderful dishes, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It is just so nice to have you here. And Ivy, I'm so glad you're his director of marketing for the LLC, and Pierre's Spicy. And it's so nice that you came with him, because we want, one of the most important parts of any business is talking about marketing.
Definitely.
And I always get to that topic. So we have enjoyed looking at some of the things that you created already, and some of the dishes that you have made. And also we've seen, I believe, you both running at some point.
Yes, you do.
And in fact, I met you through a gentleman, Will Sanchez, who has a wonderful show, Run with Will. And I know that you were a guest on his show.
Yes, Will.
And talking about Pierre's business. And he thought it would be a great idea if you came and joined us on the show.
Yes. Will did make the introduction.
Oh,
He
and
knew-
it's terrific that he did. And we're going to get a little bit more to talking about what you do. But first, let's find out, how long have you been, first of all, how long have you been here in New York?
Oh, wow, I've been in New York, gonna be like 44 years.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
But you came here when you
When I
were
was
what,
12.
12, and you're what, like 25 or 30 now? Just,
Getting up there. It's nice. I love it.
oh, jeepers, it's that original Haitian air and environment, I guess, that helps to preserve your youthful look.
Yeah.
So,
That helped a lot. Plus,
so
plus
now,
the running.
how old is your business?
We're going about close to 4 years now.
Well, I know you formed
Yeah.
your LLC in 2012.
Right.
So was that the actual beginning of?
Well, I started playing with it first, then decided, okay, it's time 2012 to go and get the license, because people was talking about it, how good it was. So then I went and get a license, and moving from there.
Now, how did you know that you had to get a license and work in do you work in a commercial kitchen as well?
Not at all. I just asked my friends about it, and they told me what I have to do. So I went and get a license, and I went to get a permit, a license to use the kitchen. So you need to have a license for that. So I followed that footstep.
Excellent.
Then start talking to more people about it, how to do marketing. So then lucky enough to meet Ivy.
Now, did you meet through running?
From running, yes, yes.
Oh, that's terrific.
We have a mutual friend.
Yeah, you know, people think they have to go to a cocktail party or something to network.
No.
Get involved in a sport, right?
Yep.
Well, we met in a running store where he's old friends with the guy who coaches me running now. And I tasted his product, and I thought it tasted really great. And I used to be in work with.
Well, you worked with Haagen-Dazs.
I worked with
at some
Haagen-Dazs,
point,
yeah,
and
and new food product development with Pillsbury, and so you know, he had a lot of people who were kind of interested. I think it took me a while to twist his arm because I liked the food. I liked the food business, and you know, since I'd done product development before in the food business and knew a bit about marketing, we just started working together.
Well, tell us a little bit. Did you do much running in Haiti?
In Haiti, I played volleyball and soccer. Then I came
Well,
here.
now did you compete in the
I competed in Junior
Olympics?
Olympic in volleyball for New York State.
Here in
New York
this-
State,
oh,
yes.
Oh, that's
Then,
wonderful.
Then as I get older and I tried for the Olympic for Haiti in track and field, then I get injured and things didn't work out the way I wanted to be. So-
And then you started running and ran
Then
past
start
somebody,
running, yep.
some place that you smelled something that reminded you.
You know, one of my friends, I went to Haiti with him, then he bought me some mamba. So I sip peanut then I enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
Then it
what
come back.
exactly is mba?
It's the peanut butter. It's a way. That's what we call it back
That's what
home
you
in
call
Haiti.
it.
And then I fell in love with it. I said I have to start making it myself.
Oh my gosh.
So I figured it could be a nice business and a good way to show people about Haitian cuisine. That we have so much about different food that people doesn't know about it. So that motivated me to do more.
Oh, that is terrific. And you were involved in a competition that was held at the Javits Center this year.
Yes, indeed.
Now, first of all, how did you find out about it? I mean, I know that it's partially sponsored by, the food industry organization
Fancy
or
Food
something
Show?
like that? Fancy Foods,
Yes,
probably.
we're the Fancy Food Show. We attended in 2013, and I think that we probably registered at Taste of New York.
Yes.
Okay, so Taste of New York is, it's like a government program for local and regional
Yeah,
products.
well, I think it's part of the New York City Economic
And
Development
yes,
Corps.
it is. So the New York Economic Development Fund was doing a food fellowship through the Fancy Food Show, and they contacted. We were on a list, and so.
Oh, that's terrific.
So they had a long application process and an interview process,
Yep.
and we filled out the paperwork, and it got.
Now, at what point did you, though, become involved with spicy food?
Well,
Obviously, it was before this year. I
Oh
mean,
yes, I
Yes.
got involved with the Pierre Spicy in the spring of 2013.
okay.
She was a volunteer. You have to
So-
volunteer first.
Yeah.
Okay, that means a business starting with low cash flow.
No,
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Yes. So that
That's
was the.
wonderful. That's
Yes.
the way
Yes.
to get things going.
Yeah, so I mean, so I'd always had always liked the food business, as I said. And he had a product, and I had a little more background in product development in terms
Well,
of
now,
marketing.
you were distinguished as being one of the 3 companies that was a runner-up in this competition
Yes.
that was held at the Javits Center. I mean, that's quite a coup
Yes.
for you. That's wonderful because you got a lot of press, a lot of attention, and as well as a company that was going to give you support and aid in developing your product, yes?
Yes, I will say the Fancy Food Show and Specialty Foods has been very
Very
helpful to us. They do little small networking meetings. They have the ability to do press online through their website, so you can
Now,
do.
did they develop your website? Because
No.
No, we did that.
No,
ourselves.
the
That's a
web-
very nice and interesting one.
We actually worked on that together. I mean, Pierre and I discussed label concepts when we were repackaging the product, and then we went through some student portfolios to find a portfolio and a student that we thought could handle our look.
Yep.
And so we worked with a young woman who developed a
very good.
website with us, who was really
Very-
talented
very
young
talented.
woman.
Well, as though one of the three runner-ups, have they been more involved in the marketing aspect, and do they give you advice about trademarks and logos and things like that as well?
They have a lot of resources that we can use.
And are they free for the year that you're a member?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And they really encourage us to get involved more into their system to develop our product. But Ivy do a lot of communication with them.
Yeah, that's sort of in the that falls into the marketing arena. So
It's an interesting, it's a very interesting thing what the New York City Economic Development Corps does, along with the Fancy Food Organization and the restaurants group. I mean, I think it's something like 2/3 of New York City small businesses are immigrants.
Yes.
And a large percentage of that is the food industry.
Really?
and well, and that's
Yeah.
the
That's
economic,
amazing.
the New York City Economic Development Program. That application was for immigrant businesses.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they have one division I know that specializes in working with immigrant businesses to help them to become more of an integral part of the business that goes on here in New York City. I mean, if you walk starting at 59th Street, head downtown to Times Square, on 9th Avenue, for example, it seems like every third restaurant is a different cuisine.
Well, that's a beautiful thing about New York City. That's one of the things that drive me. I think that my product would be fit in here so well in New York because we have so many diversity from all over the world. So you have people from India, people from the Caribbean, you have people from Mexico.
Malaysia,
all those spicy foods. So this is a perfect market, I think. That's one of the reasons that I chose to follow it.
Now, I mean, one of the major things, and I've talked to other businesses that have been on the show, for starting a new business, of course, is startup funds.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy because banks, as I was talking to you briefly before the show, banks are not in the business of loaning monies
That
to
is true.
startups.
That is true.
And often it's when you hear these success stories, 5 years down the road, it sounds like, they walked into a bank and they got this huge loan and then they just started launching and they took out a lease on 50,000 square feet of space, and it's not
Just not.
true. It's not so. Many businesses start with investments from family and friends.
Yes.
And in this day and age also, too, a lot of people start to try to raise money through Kickstarter or crowdfunding, what it's called, which is really a form of buying stock in a corporation as such. It's only you don't get any dividends or returns, maybe some perks. But the best way, if you have family and friends who are willing to invest in your business,
Absolutely.
then this is certainly a way to go. And you have that means because you have an LLC where people can buy an interest.
Yes. Well, I always didn't want to run to the bank because I didn't want to have a debt in my hand. And starting a small business is, I think, is the slowest you take your step to build it, the better it is. You don't go over your head. And we don't have the capacity to do all these things immediately. So
Right. Did you write a business plan before you got started? They must have required that.
Actually,
The,
New York City Economic Development Fund did not require a business plan, but I did a.
But we did.
But I did it. I did it.
I'm sure they wanted some kind of financial history background or something.
No,
The
they were
owners.
really looking more for a story, but we have put together a small business plan with with our growth targets, with our target market, with our competition,
Yeah,
and
it's
an
a modified
overview.
business
Yeah.
plan.
So yes.
Yeah.
I mean, my background is in business. I have an MBA from NYU, so I did put together what I would call a preliminary business plan to give us some benchmarks.
Yeah, well, that wonderful MBA gives you the credibility to say, you know, I am a quick learner when it comes to finding out something about business, because they have an excellent, the Stern School, isn't it?
Yes, that's where I went.
Yeah. I used to teach through their program where they worked with entrepreneurs. The Urban Business Acceptance Corporation, I believe it was, UBAC. Yeah, so I know that they give you excellent training there. And then I taught at the School of Professional Studies, talking about teaching business as well. So you're in charge of doing the marketing. What is your main area? Do you use a lot of social media for the marketing process?
We are on Facebook, which is sort of our social media platform. I haven't quite figured out how you Twitter nut butter. I mean,
well, think first if you even want to.
Yeah, not sure I want to Twitter nut butter. We do have a Twitter account. We've through Facebook, we've actually met some of the other companies that we've gotten involved in. We've had
And you have your own website.
And we have our own website. And the website has a blog, which we update with recipes and news. So we publish the news on Facebook and on the website.
Well, this is terrific. Well, tell us, you have some, the smell, the aroma of those cookies has been driving me crazy ever since we started.
Yeah.
Pierre, please tell us about your products. I see you have several jars there of almond and nut butter.
Yeah, we have a 9-ounce almond butter, medium, and we have a 9-ounce peanut, and we have a 16-ounce. And
now, I saw that you had, in some of the photos that we saw earlier,
yes,
the peanut butter was just being mixed with other foods. I mean, is it used also as a spice in, say, like some kind of a meat dish as well?
You can do that. You can make it like a sauté sauce for like chicken kebab, or you can have it with carrot celery for appetizer. And you can cook.
And it's not necessarily sweet. It's spicy and savory and hot.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I believe in hot. It's very good for your health, you know.
Well, they did. If you've seen the recent articles that come out, they did say that spicy food increases longevity. I guess it's the capsaicin
Works
in
for
it.
me.
Same here.
But you know, we were talking about the melting pot that New York is, and all those, you know, walking down 59th Street and all those different cuisines. So, I mean, in our earlier slides, you saw spicy noodles, so you can make spicy noodles with it. Our website has, we were very lucky to work with a woman at one of the shows that we were in who put together a chicken recipe that was absolutely delicious with the sauce.
Now, tell us something else about, because you have almond butter.
Almond butter, yes.
And then you have peanut butter. And do you specify them for different, like for example, you just mentioned chicken. Would you smother the chicken to bake it or to braise it or
I can braise it, the chicken that way, and the peanut butter.
What are you going to do for Thanksgiving?
Well, for Thanksgiving, I'm making a shrimp dish, spicy shrimp. And some will be made with peanut butter in it, and the other one will be just spicy chili powder.
Well, this is terrific. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful, and it's just such a delight to have you here.
It was a pleasure.
And I'm glad that you brought Ivy so she could really tell us about how you're promoting your business. Do you plan to have it is it in stores at this point?
Yes, we have a few stores in the city carrying it, and we even have a store in Nantucket carrying it.
Oh my gosh!
And
what's your website?
PierreSpicy.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the future plans, getting on Shark Tank? Think about it.
Well,
We've been having that question
yes, a lot of people suggest Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I would have to do a little bit of fine tuning on
You
that
have to
business
do a
plan.
lot
Yes.
A lot of fine tuning and a lot of research. It's
Yes.
not as it
And,
appears
and,
on
I,
the TV
and I am
screen.
not sure that Pierre is really willing to give up a portion to his of his business
Okay.
to
No.
another entrepreneur.
This is something that I'd be happy to talk to you about. So I thank you so much for being my guest this evening. You are just really wonderful to have this business. I know it's going to be successful. The
Thank you.
smell of it alone draw definitely people and customers to you. And I want to thank again Will Sanchez for introducing us. And keep running. Did you do the marathon?
No, not this year.
Okay. Next year, then.
Maybe next year.
Well, I thank you for being thank very much to our crew and also to Pepsi who came to join us and help us. And he's got an award-winning tune and album on the internet as well. And hopefully he'll do a show sometime in the future to tell us more about it. And of course, a very, very special thanks to Rich here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network for making this show possible. You have been watching Minding Your Business, the show for really talented, diverse, different, and fascinating entrepreneurs. I'm your host, June Middleton. Please join us again next time and see yourself where you'd like to be. Because you are just absolutely wonderful. And it was
Thank
so
you.
nice to have you on.
June, thank you for having us. It was